Hello everybody, and welcome back to another new video. And sorry I haven't posted in a while. It's just been super busy in the last couple of weeks, just with work and with travel. And just last week I was in Austin, Texas, just on vacation, and I also went to see Sunny Day Real Estate live in Austin. That was the main reason for the trip, I guess. But while I was there, of course, I had to stop by at least one record store, and this time I stopped by Waterloo Records in downtown Austin. One of my favorite record stores of all time. Definitely recommend it in case you are in the Austin area. Definitely stop by Waterloo Records in downtown Austin. Great selection every time I go there. I always find something really cool there. So I picked up a few records. So in this video, I'm going to show you the records that I picked up at Waterloo Records. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to talk a little bit about the concert that I went to see, Sunny Day Real Estate live at EMO. So stay tuned for that. But first, the pickups from Waterloo Records. If you watch my videos, you know that I like to collect postcards from record stores. And while I was there at Waterloo, I picked up this postcard right here. This is the only one that I found that had the Waterloo name on the postcard. And this one was celebrating the 40 years of Waterloo Records. I'm not exactly sure who's the picture of in the postcard. Maybe the owner, I'm not exactly sure. They also found a couple of more cool postcards. I found kind of like a Greetings from Austin, Texas postcard, which I always like. And I found a vinyl-related postcard, kind of like a vinyl advertisement from back in the day, of a couple listening to vinyl records. Really cool postcard. And yeah, those are the postcards that I picked up at Waterloo Records. Let's go ahead and get started with the actual records. First, this is not exactly a grail for me, but close. Sunny Day Real Estate with Diary. Finally added it to my collection on vinyl. I've always wanted this record, or at least for a very long time. Finally found it at Waterloo Records in Austin. This is their debut album that it came out back in 1994, originally on Sub Pop Records. This is the remastered version of the album that was released, that came out in 2009. And I actually thought that they sold out of all those represses, or the remaster versions from 2009. I wasn't able to find one of these ones until now, which I think they just recently repressed a few more of those same versions from the remasters from 2009, because everything in this record says 2009 from Sub Pop Records. So I believe it's the same one from 2009. A classic emo album, in my opinion. This is perhaps the best emo album of all time, in my opinion. So really happy to add it to my collection. This one came out on a nice gatefold with the artwork from the album. Love the artwork in this one. I find it very creepy because it's kind of like has the imagery from something that from toys from little kids, but it has the kind of like scenes that are very dark. You know, it has the emergency room picture, and then the couple sleeping on the bed at night, and the toaster fire right here. I don't know, I find it very, very creepy, kind of like matching the sound of Sunny Day Real Estate from this record. The vinyl came in on double LP, just standard black vinyl, and there's the hype sticker. And what's really cool about this repress is that it came in with a really nice booklet. A full-size booklet with words. And it actually has a really nice interview and a write-up right here on the story on how they came up with writing the music for this record. Kind of like the story of the beginning of Sunny Day Real Estate from back in the 90s, and how they recorded this album with Sub Pop Records. It also has the additional artwork as well. So really, really cool booklet for this repress. Again, one of the greatest emo albums of all time. Love the guitars, very, very strong, very powerful guitars and vocals. The singer in this band, Jeremy, he has a way of singing that is just so emotional, the way that he sings, that it kind of gives kind of like a very emotional vibe. It's kind of hard to explain it. I guess you have to listen to it to actually get an idea of how it sounds. But the way that he sings, it almost feels painful for him. And it makes sense because actually in the write-up from the booklet, they explained that before they recorded this record, they went on tour, and he sang so hard during that tour that he actually could not sing when it was time to record the album. He actually hurt his throat. The singer in the band, Jeremy, again, he also sings in a very high register. So I can see how some people may be a little bit turned off about his singing style. So definitely give it at least a couple of listens to it when you listen to this album. Again, Diary, an absolute masterpiece of a record. One of the best emo albums of all time. Again, Sunny Day Real Estate with Diary. And more on Sunny Day Real Estate later in the video when I talk about the live show. All right, up next, I also picked up the second solo album from Laura Jane Grace. This one's called Stay Alive. And it came out just a couple of years ago in 2020 on Polyvinyl Records. Again, the second solo album from Laura Jane Grace. You may know her from being the singer and guitar player from the punk rock band Against Me. I'm a big fan of her, so I had to pick this one up. And came in with a nice inner sleeve with a picture of Laura Jane and all the lyrics. And the record came in a really cool blue vinyl with the custom labels. Great looking record, great sounding record too for what it is. This is, I guess you could call it a pandemic album. This was the record that Laura Jane wrote and recorded during the lockdowns or during the pandemic when everybody was shut down in their homes. So a very stripped down version of her songs, just her with the acoustic guitar. In some of them, she also had some drums and some electric guitars, but it's very stripped down. It's very, very raw. And yeah, I come to really like pandemic albums. So albums that were written during the pandemic, like that Superchunk album that came out last year, I believe. I think they're important because they really put you in place of how things were during the lockdowns when nobody could just do regular things and go outside and meet with friends. So she was actually supposed to record a new album with Against Me, but she couldn't because of the pandemic. So she decided to record this full album by herself. And it was also produced or mixed by Steve Albini. So the sound is very good. The songs are great, as usual, coming in from Laura Jane. She has a great voice. She's a great guitar player. Her songs are... I can see how a lot of young people kind of identify with a lot of her music, with a lot of her lyrics, because a lot of her lyrics are about being an outcast, or being like the strange one in the group and not fitting in. And she uses a lot of very clever lyrics, especially in songs like the Swimming Pool song, what was the other one? Ice Cream song, the Mountain song. She uses a technique that I don't see many people do, where she just grabs a thing, something, mountain and ice cream, and she gives a lot of analogies about things in her life, or things that she was going through during that time, and writes a song about that. I thought it was very clever, very, very unique. I love that style of music. So great album from Laura Jane Grace. I guess if I had picked this one up back in 2020, it could have made my top 10 albums of the year because I like it that much. And I'm actually gonna go see Laura Jane Grace live later this year, I think in the spring. So really looking forward to that show as well. Again, Laura Jane Grace with Stay Alive. Great album.
I am a haunted swimming pool. I am emptied out and drained. My capacity remains unchanged.
And last but not least, I also picked up a record from Marisa Paternoster, and this one's called Peace Meter. And it came out back a couple of years ago in 2021 on Don Giovanni Records. And Marisa Paternoster, she is the singer and the guitar player for the Screaming Females. If you watch my videos, you know all about the Screaming Females because I'm a huge fan. I buy all their records. And I actually did not know about this record, about this solo record from Marisa, when it came out back in 2021. So I completely missed out on this one. I found it at the on sale section at the record store, so I found it for a really good price, and of course I picked it up. It came in with an inner sleeve with her band with the solo project and the credits. And the record itself came in on kind of like a clear red vinyl with the custom labels. So yeah, I wasn't exactly sure what to expect about this solo record from Marisa. I thought it would be a little bit similar to the Screaming Females, but I was wrong. It is actually much mellower than the Screaming Females. If you know the Screaming Females, you know that they're loud and they're fast and very punk rock. This one is a lot more chill. It doesn't have those very heavy, abrasive guitars from the Screaming Females. Instead of that, she adds a little bit of cello, a little bit of keyboards, and some guitar picking as well, and also some electronic drums, which I think it works really well on this record. So a little bit experimental, definitely slower, but the highlight in this record is of course the voice or the vocals from Marisa in this album. She has one of the best voices in punk rock right now, and actually one of the things that I like the most about the Screaming Females is that contrast between with the very heavy, very abrasive guitars and her very high-pitched voice. It gives a really cool effect with the music of the Screaming Females. In this one, you don't get that. You get a very high-pitched voice from Marisa, a very melodic voice, and with a lot of very mellow instruments, like I mentioned before, the cello and the keyboards. So it gets a completely different vibe, which I really enjoyed in this record. It's just different. It's hard to compare this music from the Screaming Females because it's just so different. But the melodies are still there. She still has that ability to compose a really, really cool song with great melodies and great vocals. So I think it's a very solid solo album from Marisa Paternoster. Again, this one's called Peace Meter. Highly recommended, from Don Giovanni Records from 2021. Alright, so let's talk a little bit now about that Sunny Day Real Estate show in Austin, Texas at Emos. So a little bit about the venue first. Emos is a kind of like the indie rock or punk rock venue in Austin. And in case you didn't know, I used to live in Austin back after college. I lived there for just a couple of years, from 2008 or 2007 to 2009. So I was just there for 2 years, but while I was there, I went to a lot of concerts, especially at Emos. There were a lot of really cool bands that play there. And one of the things that I didn't know until after I bought my tickets to go see Sunny Day Real Estate is that I realized that they moved the location of Emos. They used to be down in downtown Austin in 6th Street. And then just I think a few years ago, they moved it to the Riverside, which is just south of downtown, which is kind of like a new area of Austin. And I think it was a good move because it looks a lot better. And from my perspective, it looks a little bit bigger as well. And that could be me with my memory failing. I don't know for sure if I remember it right from so many years ago. But from what I remember, Emos used to be a lot smaller. Unless they had a couple of different rooms in the same venue. I'm not really sure if I remember correctly, but the new Emos looks really good and really big as well. And the sound was awesome. Now, Sunny Day Real Estate. The reunion tour. I got to see them live last year when they played the first reunion show in Furnace Fest in Birmingham, Alabama. And for that show was awesome because they got to play the whole Diary album, the record that I showed you earlier in the video, in its entirety, which everybody agrees that that's the best Sunny Day Real Estate album ever. So that was really cool, but I still wanted to see them one more time. And I missed them when they played in Atlanta because they had to postpone a few of the shows, including the one in Austin, Texas. So they postponed a few of the shows, including the one in Atlanta, but I couldn't go to the new date for the one in Atlanta. So when I saw that they were going to play in Austin, I decided to buy tickets to go there, and might as well make it a fun trip. So yeah, the show was awesome. These guys still got it. They still have that same kind of vibe. Great guitars. They're still very, very tight. The singer, Jeremy, he still has that fantastic voice from back in the 90s. Especially that raw emotion that he gives when he sings is something that not very many vocalists have, in my opinion. It's something very rare, kind of like a very rare type of voice. Yeah, they were excellent. I don't really have that much to say about the show except that they were really good. In case you get a chance to see them, hopefully they're still touring or they will extend the tour. That's my wish from this band, that they keep on touring, play a few more shows, and hopefully release a new album. That would be great to see a new Sunny Day Real Estate album, because I think they still have a lot more music to offer from these guys. Because from what I saw in the show, the main band members, the three main guys, they still get along pretty well. It's very different to what they were back in the 90s, where they were fighting all the time. That's the main reason why I thought that I would never see Sunny Day Real Estate live ever, because they were kind of famous for always fighting, for always being in the process of breaking up or about to break up. That was the kind of band that they were back in the 90s and back in the 2000s. So I was glad that they are now getting along pretty well. They're touring, and maybe hopefully wishing that they would release a new album in the future. I would definitely pick that one up. But yeah, definitely recommend it if you get a chance to see the Sunny Day Real Estate. I think they're in the end of their tour though, so you might have to wait for the next tour if they announce one. But if you get to see them, definitely recommend them. Let me know in the comments if you have seen Sunny Day Real Estate live. What do you think about their albums? Let me know in the comments. And if you have been to Austin, have you been to Waterloo Records or any of the other record stores in the area? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye-bye.